Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your game, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome into another edition of the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am Rob, and I'm here with the one and only Mr. Rob Norton. How we doing tonight, brother? Nort, I think you're muted, dude. Get you unmuted.
We had this happen, I think, with me and Mario, right? Or maybe it was you and me, because it did the thing again where, like, the intro. I saw you push it go live, but it didn't show me. Like, I see I'm watching the intro, right? And it didn't show that. Yeah, for me until the very end, and then all of a sudden it did, and then it like muted me.
Technical difficulties off the bat. Albert, what's going on, dude? What's going on?
What's up, Albert?
It is your Wednesday night episode where we are going to do our waiver wire recap, some buy and sell players for trades, and then a little, what is it? A little, do you believe now? So let's get into some new. Well, how was your Halloween, Nort? How was your Halloween?
Good. You know, we got the two little guys, so they went as dinosaurs, and it was all the 5-year-old's choice. He wanted to be a T-Rex. He wanted his little brother to be a T-Rex. So they were T-Rexes. We hit the local development for about an hour or so. They do it up pretty good. So yeah. How about you?
It was good. It was cool. I went down to the neighbors with a 6-pack, handed out some candy.
There you go.
It was good. It was a good time. We get my side streets get a lot of kids where. Like my house, I'm right in the middle of a street. It does not too many kids come down, so I usually go to the corner neighbors. He's a good dude, so we just have a couple beers, talk some fantasy football, kick back, relax, and pass some candy out. So it was a good time.
That's always good. It's funny. It's funny you said that because there's a guy. One of the houses that did it up real big in this development. The guy was. So the wife was like handing out the candy, and the guy was walking around. They were all dressed up, and their whole house was decked out and everything. And he was walking around with like a pumpkin, like candy, like thing or whatever. And in it, like as he was, he'd be walking by like different parents. He's like, here's some adult candy, and it was just like cans of beer in there. He was just handing them out to all the parents walking around. So he was doing it up right.
He got the memo. He knew what he was doing.
Exactly.
Nort, let's get into some news of the day to start. Had to sneeze there. So obviously in Las Vegas, McDaniels, the OC and GM all fired. So they are completely revamping that program, including that Aiden O'Connell is named the starter for the rest of the season. It kind of sounds like for the Raiders. What's your instant reaction on that?
Yeah, so wild. I mean, I kind of expected McDaniels to get fired at some point. It seemed inevitable. It's kind of like came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, it was like late night. Boom.
Yeah, it was here it goes. Did you hear the story on that?
I saw the other thing on The Athletic, about the
fortune cookie.
Yeah, the fortune cookie with the.
If that's true. So let's preface this for the people. So if you're listening, there's a report that. I guess McDaniels is known for doing Halloween up. He dresses up and does the whole thing when he comes in. Obviously, they lost. this week, and I guess he came in yesterday, Halloween, dressed up as the owner, Davis. So he's dressed up as him. The owner then, apparently it was all laughs. The owner buys him, I guess he gets Chinese every day, the owner. So he bought him Chinese to kind of go along with the outfit. And at the end, there was a fortune cookie, and he opened the fortune cookie and it read, "You're fired, hotshot." If that is true, that is the ultimate firing. Like, it will go down in history as the best firing of somebody ever.
I know for sure. And it was in, dude, the thing that makes me think there's a I was like, when I first saw, I was like, there's no way.
I said the same thing.
And then I was like, it was a story in The Athletic. Like, it wasn't like it was like, you know, like The Onion or some kind of just wild shit. It was
credited people saying it.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, if that's real.
First off, the fact that
hilarious.
he somehow got a fortune cookie had that done so quickly is wild, but that would be, I'm so curious if that happened, because if that's true, it is the greatest firing story ever.
For sure.
Davis for doing it, because
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I've never really liked Davis as an owner that much, but that makes me like him. That makes me like him.
I'll tell you, hell yeah. Let's keep it going though. Taylor Heineke is the named starter in Atlanta over Desmond Ridder. Are you happy about this? Because I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, same. I mean,
we've been talking about it.
Yeah, Ridder obviously has been struggling all year. Hopefully Heineke has supported receivers and pass catchers in the past, so I'm hoping. But we still have the Arthur Smith obstacle. But I'm hoping this is a promising sign. Yeah, for London and Pitts. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out in the next few weeks. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, not to give too much away, we'll talk a little bit about some of those players. And then Kyler Murray said he's fired up and ready to go this week, even though it sounds like he's got another week to get ready. It doesn't sound like they're going to play him. It's going to be Tune against Cleveland this week, but all signs are a go for Kyler Murray coming back sooner than I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it's about halfway through the season, so that's kind of where I pegged it. But you know, there were a lot of talks of him not even playing the season with how Arizona started and the record and all that. So it's good to see him get back out there, especially for my Marquise Brown love. Question coming in. Just traded Lamar and Swift for Hall, Ridley, and A-Chain in PPR. My other quarterbacks are Dak and Herbert. W or L?
W for me. I love Lamar, but you have good QBs and
you got Herbert for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah, I would do that. Herbert's putting up top 6 numbers, top 5 numbers. So with those core, especially Dak's kind of flipping it the past 2 weeks. So I like that trade. You get in my opinion, 2 top 5 running backs once A-Chain's back down the rest of the season, and you get a playable wide receiver when you need him. I'm not super high on Ridley rest of the season, but you know, crazier things have happened. He could surprise. Kirk could get hurt and he instantly turns into that number 1 again. So I definitely like it with how your roster was built. Got another one here. Are we smashing the start button on Adams now? He's been on my bench the last 3 weeks in a row because of crap performances. The balls to sit him for 3 weeks. I applaud you, first off.
I was going to say, that's crazy.
I applaud you for sitting him. I'd have to see the other options, obviously, but I have higher hopes for Adams after O'Connell's coming in and now McDaniel's gone. What about you?
Same. Yeah, I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm definitely hopeful. Obviously, I feel like it can't really get much worse. And that was pretty brutal, especially this past week.
We're going to talk about him a little bit later as well. He's another guy that we're going to get into sneak peek, but I'm higher on him moving forward for the rest of the season. Nort, do you believe now? Let's get into it, baby. The fun segment. Quarterback time. Let's get into it. Sam Howell, quarterback 8 overall right now. Versus, obviously, we just talked about him. Dak Prescott, quarterback 17. Both have been putting up as of late. Where are you leaning rest of the season?
Rest of the season, I probably lean Dak. I don't dislike how I kind of have them pretty similar. I would say Dak just kind of has more upside, like more touchdown upside, really. I just think the Dallas offense has more potential to put up more points than Washington.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It's just crazy. Honestly, it's crazy what Hal's been doing. His last 4 weeks, he's been QB 6, 23, bad week in week 7, and then QB1 this week. Dak, his last 2 performances, he was QB1, then QB4. So it's interesting to watch these guys kind of flip it coming down the stretch. Sam Howell's got a ton of weapons there, which I don't think we talk enough about. Like, he's got Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, McLaurin, Logan Thomas. There's a lot of options for him. Gibson when he's coming out of the backfield. And he's not a bad runner. He gets enough yards on the ground where he's viable for that. Like, he's got a little bit of a base floor. And then Dak, obviously we know what they got there in Dallas. We'll see. I'm excited to see what's going on. Dak's out there in a lot of leagues. So I've been picking him up where I can. People dropped him after the first 5-6 weeks where he really wasn't doing too much. So I snagged him, put him on my bench, and now he's kind of flipping back into what we thought he was going to be. So this one's close for me. It really is.
Yeah. A lot of people probably wouldn't have thought that. And then, although Howell did get some preseason buzz as a late round sleeper, but he wasn't in the same tier as Dak preseason.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, though. I think I'm leaning Dak. I think they're starting to figure the offense out, how they need to do it for them to score points. And I think Dak and CD are the main focal points of that when they get going. So I'm with you. Dak. All right, running back position, Derrick Henry, RB fit. Oh, we got a question. Hold on one sec. Let's get the question out first. My wide receivers are decent enough. 10 team redraft PPR got Lamb, Thielen, Devontae, and Adams. Oh my goodness, and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, that's decent enough, I'd say.
I'd go Lamb. Ooh, man, probably Lamb, Thielen, Adams, but. I mean, Devonta just put up a big game, so hopefully he's getting back to form. I'd be working trades. That's what I would be doing. If I had this,
trying to hit the 2-for-1s if you can.
Mm-hmm. I'd be trying to package Thielen. But I'd be trading Thielen right now if I could. Thielen and an RB for an upgrade at the RB position, something along those lines. But yeah, you're in a good spot. I can't blame you for sitting Adams with what was going on. Running backs, let's get into it. Derrick Henry, RB15 versus Jahmyr Gibbs, RB18. Which way are you leaning?
Wow, this is tough. It's kind of a
lot to think about with this one.
Yeah. Wow. I want to say Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm nervous about and I know
Monty coming back.
Yeah, Monty coming back, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, you can't put him back in. You can't put that back in the bottle and put that genie, whatever." I understand that to an extent, but it's not like Monty was bad. He was doing good. It's not So I'm gonna say Henry reluctantly. I think. I don't know. I mean, they're so close for me. Probably it's tough. I think I lean Henry though.
Where are you leaning with Henry? Mid to late RB2 with these guys, or higher?
Probably.
You think they're gonna finish right around here, right where they're at?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably early RB2s to early to mid RB2s, 12 to 16 range.
Okay,
13 to 18, that range.
Yeah. I think we've seen what Detroit likes to do when Monty's there. So it's tough. It's tough because Gibbs has been great the last 2 weeks. And I think he has earned himself a bigger role than he had when Monty was doing what he was doing.
I hope so.
So I think Monty obviously takes a little ding when he comes back with the emergence of Gibbs. But Spears could eat into some of Derrick Henry's work later in the season if he keeps continuing what he's been doing. He looks really good too. So I think it's close, like you're saying. Give me Gibbs for the pass work.
Yeah, I know, and that's a part where I was almost tempted to hedge and say PPR Gibbs, non PPR Henry, but I feel
I'm
like
with you on that. If we're doing PPR, I think I'm leaning Gibbs slightly.
Yeah, probably.
But it's close.
That's it is. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I haven't
Wide
seen any of these
receiver.
before
Good.
this, so coming in blind here.
Jalen Waddle, wide receiver 25 right now against Marquise Brown, wide receiver 21. Which way you leaning?
Man, both guys I like.
Mm-hmm.
I lean Waddle. I lean Waddle here. I just think the offense is so good, like just a juggernaut offense. He's starting to come around a bit.
Yeah.
I do like Hollywood though. Like I've been on the buy Hollywood bandwagon.
So have I. I've been screaming by Hollywood.
Yeah, and it's like, plus obviously if Kyler is back soon, then hopefully that increases that offense as well. And he's probably more likely for volume, but
yeah,
I think I still got to lean Waddle a little bit here
with the offense.
Yeah,
I think I'm with you. I think I lean Waddle just because of how explosive that offense can be, and we've seen it. I think Marquise Brown is week to week the safer play, but Waddle's going to get you those spike weeks where Hollywood could, but I think they're going to happen more with Waddle. But I'm huge on Marquise Brown. I've been saying trade for him, especially when Kyler's back. His underlying metrics are so crazy with the amount of targets, yards run, route, average depth of target, all that sort of stuff is really good for Marquise Brown. The only thing that's been terrible is his catchable ball rate with Josh Dobbs, which you're hoping when Kyler comes back is going to go back at least to like league average, which would starting to talk myself into Marquise Brown. I'm really starting to talk myself into Marquise Brown. Ooh. Give me Marquise. Give me Marquise the rest of the season.
That's fair. That's fair.
Trade forward for Higgins. Other RBs are Brees, Cooks, Brian Robinson. My wide receivers are Hill, Evans, Lockett, Addison, Zay.
In a vacuum, I want to, yes. Especially because like I like Ford, and I was one saying to empty the fab at the time. But Higgins, I mean, Higgins has a proven track record, and Ford obviously. I mean, he was like a 3-way split this last game, but he was also coming in banged up and didn't even really expect to play.
Half PPR, by the way, he says.
Half PPR, by the way. I'd trade Ford to get Higgins. I know it leaves you a little bit thin there at
it leaves you thin
at running
back.
It
leaves you thin, especially with Lenny coming in.
Yeah, it kind of knocks James Cook a little bit.
Knocks James Cook a little bit. Brian Robinson hasn't been producing at the same clip that he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tight.
I think I'm fine doing it. And then, I mean, you also have the wide receivers then to try to trade for a better running back than Ford. I think
that's what I would do. I'm with you on that. I think I would make this trade, and then I would look to trade Lockett for like a Rashad White if you could, like a serviceable RB2. That we could, let me see. Let me pull up the running backs real quick, because now I'm curious. Who would you trade Lockett for? Like Gus Edwards? Would you trade Lockett for Gus Edwards if the guy would pull the trigger? I would offer that. I would try to get him. Even Alexander Madison. Even though it's not great. Would you rather have Madison or Cam Akers the rest of the season?
Yeah. Madison, I guess. I wouldn't really want either. I'm down on both, but
yeah. Or I'd look for somebody like that's one injury away, like a Tyler Algier or
Spears, Charbonnet.
like Jalen Warren, something like that. Like you could trade Zay Jones for that, and you still have your main wide receivers. and then you can try and hope. I mean, you got a backup that's still playable. Like Algier is still playable in a pinch if you need him, but he's one injury away from like being an RB1. So that's kind of how I'd probably play that. Another question: trade Ayuk and Zach Moss for Breece Hall and Sutton. I have Lamar Jackson at QB, Chase St. Brown, Waddle, Amari Cooper at wide receiver, George Kittle and Kmet at tight end. Ooh, dog.
He said he's got JT, Ford, and Pearson.
I would do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I would do that. Yeah, you're getting Breece Hall again. He's a top 5 for me rest of the season. Running back. Sutton's playable if you need him in a pinch, but with those wide receivers that you have, you're not going to have to.
Right.
So I'd make that trade to upgrade at the running back position.
Yeah, because then because at that point, then you're starting Chase, St. Brown, and Waddle, plus still have Amari Cooper
and Amari Cooper sitting there waiting.
You starting JT and Breece.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
100%.
Yeah, JT Ford. Yeah, I'm with those running backs. I'm doing that all day. Then JT and Breece, you're
feeling
killing
good.
it. Follow up: is Pollard worth going after as an RB? We're gonna get into that. A little sneak peek, right? Right, Nort?
That's true. That's true.
Sneak peek, but that's a Nort's list. But I'll give you my opinion. Yes, he is.
Yes, for sure.
What side? 2 top 3 2024 picks, or CeeDee Lamb and T-Law? Record is 4-12.
2 top 3 picks. Ooh, so we're looking at
a half season left. Let's keep that in mind.
Interesting. I feel like there's some implications here. But man, that's tough. That's tough because then you're looking at probably Marvin plus one of the top 2 QBs. So basically, do you like Caleb / Drake May over T-Law, Marvin over CD?
That's the question, right? You have proven commodities here, right? With CD and T-Law.
I know. I think I still lean CD and T-Law, but I also am lower on T-Law. You guys know that.
Yeah, you're lower on T-Law than I am, so that's also a factor. Yeah. And again, Mario, if they weren't like 23 years old each, it'd be a different conversation. So then would you value Pollard higher than Brian? Yes.
Oh, for sure. Not even close.
Yes. Yeah, it's a drastic difference.
Like Brian Robinson's like in a 10 team, Brian Robinson's a drop for me. Like
I would hold on to him.
I'm not saying like just drop him for no reason, but like in a 10 teamer, if you're needing the space, like to me, there's not like I'd rather if I was stashing players, if I was like, stashing player, like for me, I'm always stashing upside on the bench. To me, there's like no upside with Robinson. So I'd rather like
he's a low end RB2.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like he's a low end RB2. I'd rather stash like a Charbonnet, honestly.
I'm with you on that. There was a 25 first additionally. Yeah.
He's like,
I told him I'll trade him Sam Howell, I'll trade him D-Hop, but he's going after my blue chippers that are 23 years old. It's a tough get.
I would work that down to without T-Law involved.
I said I'll give you T-Law, but not CD. Tight end position: Taysom Hill, tight end 11, or Trey McBride, tight end 19. Which way are you leaning?
It's wild that Trey McBride, after like a couple good games and barely playing, is already top 20.
Yep. Tight end one this week, right?
What's that?
He was tight end 1 this week.
I think he was, right?
Yeah.
I know he had like 25 and a half.
Yeah, he was tight end 1 this week, which obviously boosted him, but 2 top 12 performances in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm leaning McBride. The only way I wouldn't would be a non-PPR situation, just because Taysom gets carries, goal line carry types situations, which are such high value touches, especially in a non-PPR. But otherwise, McBride's going to be way more utilized as a pass catcher. We saw 14 targets. So, yeah, it's McBride for me.
Is there a concern when Kyler comes back?
I don't think so. I mean, because I saw a thing where it was like his target share to tight ends was not like the best. But also we saw Ertz was fine throughout stretches with him. And I think the offense as a whole, like the ceiling of the offense and points scored should go up. So I would think that there might be maybe a little bit less volume, but more chance for touchdowns and upside. So yeah, I still think he's like a top 12 guy rest of the season. And Hill's probably like more of a matchup streamer.
So is he an instant plug and play rest of the year for you, Trey McBride?
Depending on who I have, but if it's not like, Laporta and like all those guys.
What about
like,
Cole Kmet?
I think I prefer McBride over Kmet. My biggest one that I popped in on the stream last night asking Mario and Alex was like basically Trey McBride, Dalton. I'll ask you this: Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, Kyle Pitts, and it was one other. Gosh, Jake Ferguson. Those 4 guys. I'm having so much trouble because I have a ton of Pitts, obviously, and I have actually a good amount of Jake Ferguson because people dropped him.
Yeah.
Coming off his bye, and I was in on him, so like I scooped him up in a lot of leagues where I could stash. So I have a lot of like those guys, and then McBride and Kincaid were kind of the 2 biggest hot names like this week, pretty much. And it's like
I think I lean Kincaid just because of what we've seen the last 2 weeks with Knox out, and he's finally solidifying himself in that offense, is getting the work and where you want him. So I think that's where, and also it's a high-powered offense, right? So that kind of factors into it as well. Then I'd go Pitts with the Heineke news. That's how I'm leaning that. But Pitts and Kincaid are close for me. But I need to see it with Pitts, right? Like we have to see how this offense is going to look this first week. It's gonna be interesting though.
It's funny because I think they had Kincaid last of it. I think I maybe not. Maybe it was, but I know they were like mixed on what it was because I know Mario likes Ferguson a lot. I like Ferguson a lot.
Because I just think it's going to be good weeks, bad weeks.
Yeah, I guess I said my order of it was Pitts, Ferguson, Kincaid, McBride, but I think all of them are top 12, top 15.
They're all playable.
Yeah. I like them all. So it's like, but I wouldn't have any problem anyone putting them in any order, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. Question coming in: trade Higgins, K9, Mike Evans for Cooper Kupp and Rashad White.
Man, this is kind of tough. I'm not big on Rashad White.
Is there any news on Stafford?
Still nothing that I've seen. He was just day to day. No, yeah. Still, I love how the report was like, they don't think he's going to go to IR after like a day after saying he was day to day. I was like, okay, that doesn't really vibe. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I knew Stafford was good, I'd be fine getting Kupp. But
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's tough because Evans has been good. I'm expecting Higgins to be better. Walker over Rashad
by a wide margin for me.
Yeah, so it's, and I mean,
it depends on the makeup of your team.
That's the other thing is like it really depends if you're pretty loaded at receiver. Like if you're pretty loaded at receiver, and I mean, because that's the thing is you're trading 2 receivers for 1. So you got to be good at
like feasibly like really good and a top 12 running back right now.
Yeah, so I think I'd hold on to Higgins, Walker, and Evans, to be honest.
I think I would too. I would try to switch. If you can switch out Walker with a less impressive running back, like someone not in the top 12, like I would do that.
Or even
I'm fine with giving away Evans and Higgins to get Cup.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even drop the running backs out of it.
Yeah, but going from K9 to Rashad White, like, I don't think I don't like that. That's a drastic jump at the running back position, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another question: should I trade away Kelsey and Eckler for Tony Pollard, Cooper Kupp, and Andrews?
Ooh,
I'm doing that.
Absolute banger. That is a banger.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I love Kelsey and Eckler, but I mean, you're going from Kelsey to Andrews and Eckler to Pollard, and you're getting Kupp. So yeah,
this dude's trying to make this happen. What if I do those 2 top 3 picks plus 2 25s? Nino, another question. Yeah, just scared of K9's schedule, but yeah, I only have Bijan and so you have Bijan and Brees besides him. Okay, so that's a little different.
I love it. I love Nino. He says only have.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, man. So let's go back to.
I'm over here starting Royce Freeman and Devin Singletary in a league. So,
dude, you got no idea. So you're getting Kupp. Rashad White's playable in a pinch. What are your wide receivers? I'd have to. What are your other wide receivers? Live trading negotiate. Yeah, he's trying to work me over here while I can't think about stuff.
Catching you off guard.
He was on air last night texting me trying to make trades. The kid's sick in the head. All right, let's keep it moving though. Waiver wire recap. Nort, who was the guy you went out and snagged up in your waivers this week?
Yeah, so this one was a little bit I felt like the running back and receiver group was pretty weak overall for the most part. I mean, kind of a little bit of retreads and things like that. But so McBride was the main guy, I think, that I went after in most leagues. Tight end, we already hit on him a little bit, but tight end obviously not that great. And yeah, he's him, Dalton Kincaid, Ferguson. Like I said, those are the guys that I kind of like checked through leagues to make sure they weren't available, and those kind of guys I was going after to give myself better options at tight end.
So he's in a 10-man. He's 6-2, but Diggs, Amon, and then the 2 in that trade, which were T. Higgins and Mike Evans.
So he'd after that have Diggs, Amon-Ra, and Kupp.
I would probably make that trade then.
I was gonna say I mean,
I would probably make that trade then.
That's I mean, it definitely makes me want to, because then you're working with Bijan, Brees, Diggs, Amon-Ra, and Kupp,
and Cooper Kupp.
Boy, yeah, that is a unit, no doubt.
Yeah.
Working with a unit.
I would. I'd probably make that trade then if you have those guys, and then you'd have to fill up some backups. But in a 10-man, you should be able to get some playable players.
Yeah, and upside stashes.
Like in 10-man teams, that's where I'm doing those sort of trades where I'm trying to get the superpower players, right? Like I'm trying to get the Cooper Kupps. I'm trying to get those main players. Yeah, because the depth isn't as much. Depth of your bench isn't as drastic as having a stacked lineup.
For sure.
In a 10-man.
100%.
So Nort went out and got Trey McBride. I went out and got Rashid Shaheed where I could. So he's obviously, this is Nort's all-time boy. He talks about him all the time. And
That's true.
He has proven himself over the last 3 weeks where he's a big play waiting to happen whenever he touches the ball. I think he's a top 12 player to the last 3 weeks with 5 receptions. So he has been absolutely on a tear. And again, if Olave or if Michael Thomas, which Michael Thomas doesn't have the best injury history, if one of those guys goes down, Rashid Shaheed instantly becomes a top 24 wide receiver for me moving down the rest of the season. So he's one of those players I picked up. I'm stashing him. And if I need to play him, I can, and feel, if it's a good matchup, not to mention he's got Chicago and Minnesota coming up in the next 2 weeks, which are good matchups for him. If I need to play him, I'm going to play him, and I'll feel comfortable doing it. But if one of those guys goes down, you have an instant plug-and-play receiver that should tear it up the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, I've been in on Shaheed, obviously, since the start of the year. Been all his underlying
his
like
metrics are nuts, dude.
They're crazy. Like the yards per route run, target per route run data is like really, really good with him.
I think he's top 5 in fantasy points per target. Like he's just every time he touches the ball, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the time. Like for me, I've gotten to the point now where because obviously he's inconsistent because of the usage, but like for me, it's kind of been to the point where I prefer having him over Michael Thomas anyway at this point. And
it's just like it's one of those things. If he goes down, which again it could, like with Michael Thomas, it could happen at any point, and he's gone the rest of the year. Shaheed just instantly becomes a big part of that offense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so I like that a lot.
Yeah, he was one dude. And then obviously Trey McBride was my other guy that I was looking for if I could snag him.
Definitely.
Nort, a little buy, sell, trade ideas. Let's get into it. Who was a guy that you were actively trying to go out and buy this week?
Chris Olave. Like that's our professional segue from New Orleans to New Orleans right there.
Yeah,
that's
look
how we
at
do
that.
it here, the Dad Bod Squad. And but no, yeah, he's been struggling lately. There's also been the narrative around him. Like, what was it? 2 weeks ago? Was it Thursday night or was it Monday night? I can't remember which one it was. It was
when Carr was screaming at him.
Yeah, primetime game where Carr was screaming at him, and he looked like he cut off the route, and then he obviously got in trouble, speeding and stuff. And then we got the highlight recently of it bouncing off his head, and like the production hasn't been good. So yeah, people have been kind of down on him lately. So but then if you look at his utilization, like it's truly like elite level stuff in terms of usage, and he's just waiting to pop off. Like feels kind of like poor man CeeDee Lamb from a couple weeks ago, and then we finally got the CeeDee Lamb monster game, right? And I feel like it's only a matter of time for Olave too.
Yeah, I'm with you. He was on my list last week to go out and go get him.
Yep.
Like you said, I think it's just a matter of time before he pops, and then everything should be good in New Orleans with him and Derek Carr. They just got to get on the same page. The only concern that I have is I'm with you, like the underlying metrics, everything. He's an amazing talent. It's just, is Derek Carr good enough to get him the ball?
True.
Like that's my only concern, because that's the only reason I'm coming back to where it's not working out is that Derek Carr just isn't good enough to get him the ball.
No, that's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
Kind of like the Jimmy G, Devontae Adams sort of scenario that we got going on.
That is true. It is right there. It is right there with him.
And speaking of Devontae Adams, he is my go out and buy. We're killing it tonight. He is my go out and buy wide receiver this week. Obviously, it's somewhat similar to what's going on with Olave, where Jimmy G hasn't been able to get him the ball. The offense has been a mess. We've talked about it in the pre-show where they got rid of McDaniels. They got rid of their offensive coordinator. So we should see a little bit of different offensive scheme moving forward. And then they're putting Aiden O'Connell in there. One of the coaching staff members, someone asked the coaching staff, why is Aiden O'Connell the quarterback moving forward? Point blank, he said he's our best quarterback. So I'm with that. I think Aiden O'Connell is an upgrade from what we've seen from Jimmy G. So moving forward, I think Devontae Adams should have a better path, better future with this quarterback and with this offensive scheme moving forward. So if you can go out and get him, it might cost a little bit, but I think we should see that top 12 production that we were seeing at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, I like that. Obviously, really down right now. Really bad recently. And yeah, he's just too good. Like
that's the thing, right? He's just too good for this to continue.
Yeah, and I think people are a little bit worried at this point, so you could probably get him at a discount.
I'm with you. I think the only thing is I had this pegged up even before the news of Jimmy G getting benched and then firing McDaniels. Like this was the guy I wanted to go out and get. with this news coming out, it might be harder now because people are going to be like, oh, okay, let's see what happens this first week.
Right.
So that's the only kind of concern that I have, but I would still go out. Would you offer up Waddle to go get him?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I would. Like, that's where I'm at, is like I'm offering up Brandon Ayuk. I'm offering up, what about Michael Pittman?
Yeah, I would rather have Adams over Pittman.
Yeah. So those guys, and I think you could get that done.
Yeah,
like with that being the base of the trade, I think you could kind of flip other pieces where it makes enough sense for everybody, where you can go out and get them.
Yeah, because I think I have it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I have it. Out of those guys you named, I would rank it: Adams, Waddle, Pittman, Ayuk.
Me too. I think that's where I'm at. We got a question: Michael Mayer or Luke Musgrave? Trade Michael Thomas or we got a couple of questions. Okay, so Michael Thomas or Luke Musgrave to start.
I will go with Musgrave on this.
I'm going Musgrave.
Mayer had a little stretch, but it's too tough.
Musgrave's been my dude all season. I'm still riding with him. I think the talent is there. Again, the only question is Jordan Love good enough to get him the ball?
Yep.
I think the Jordan Love, Aiden O'Connell is kind of a toss-up. So in that scenario, I think Musgrave is the better receiving tight end. So I'm going to go with Musgrave.
And he has less competition in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I love Christian Watson, but Devontae Adams greater than Christian Watson. Let's be honest.
100%. And Jacoby Meyer is better than
whatever the two on there.
Whatever else they got
or whatever
on.
else. Yeah. Reed.
Trade Michael Thomas or Sutton for Javonte or James Conner. I would trade Michael Thomas for Javonte or Sutton for Javonte.
Same. Now for James Conner, who I don't love getting currently hurt. Yeah, I don't love trading a currently healthy guy for a currently hurt guy, especially when that currently hurt guy is a guy known for like being hurt and taking longer to recover and things like that with Conner.
Not to mention DeMarcado has been serviceable. So it could be like a 50-50 split when he comes back. They might want to see the younger running back in this offense over the older one that they're probably going to get rid of at the end of the year. So I'm not touching James Conner the rest of the year. But Javonte, I'd make that trade for.
I agree.
Stream Bryce Young or Derek Carr.
D-Carr.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Who they got this week?
I know Carr, I'm pretty sure, has Chicago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Derek Carr then. I don't even need to know. Khalil Herbert worth a pickup.
Depending on obviously it all depends on
if you have someone on your bench you don't care about, I'd pick them up and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's worth a pickup for a running back.
That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Bear down. Sorry, we just kind of shit on the secondary, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Nort, who is another guy that you went out and traded for?
Tony Pollard. We talked about him a little bit earlier. And I've been suggesting to buy for a while, like a month plus now. But I think it was hard to do for a long time. And I think people are actually like legit getting drop Miles Sanders for him. Yeah. I would.
Would you do for Khalil?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the thing is like with Miles Sanders, like as we've talked about Miles Sanders before the year, like I've always liked Miles Sanders as a talent, but I think something's gone wrong with him, whether it's with the coaching staff and or like the injury like they suffered. And I don't know if he's ever gotten fully right yet. Yeah. And Hubbard has taken majority control of the backfield right now. So like, to me, there's more upside stashing Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Which it hurts. It pains me to say.
I know Miles Sanders was your boy before heading into the year.
It pains me he's still my boy, but not looking great.
I know. It's
Baker tough. Or Carr.
I'm going Carr on this one too.
Baker's got the Texans.
I like Baker over Bryce compared to like that other Carr question, but like to me it goes Carr, Baker, Bryce. I think. I'll be doing rankings tomorrow, so I'll have a better idea. But first glance, that's what I'm thinking.
Saints at home. Give me
Saints,
Carr.
at home in a dome
But
against
you're
the
a
Bears.
Bears fan, so like if it's close to you, I'd lean Baker. That's how I do it. I'm always
Right, yeah. If you don't want to
crazy about that.
But yeah, back to Pollard, right?
Outside looking in, I'm going Carr.
Yeah, for
That's
sure. Pollard, yeah. But I really think that people are starting to get worried. I've gotten more and more questions, like DMs about Pollard, like would you trade him for this, or would you trade this to get Pollard? Like,
I mean, we just got one about Pollard or Brian Robinson,
right?
You know what
That
I mean?
sounds. It's like
some people. It's where it's at, though.
Yeah, I mean, I can't necessarily blame people, I guess,
No,
but like
not at all.
he's been rough recently, and it doesn't necessarily even look like promising, but like I just think he's shown he's been too good for too long. I do think I chalk it more up to coming off of the tightrope surgery that he had, right? Or whatever it was.
Broken leg or
So like I chalk it up a little bit more to that, recovering from that. Yeah,
I chalk it up to the offense just not looking good to start the season.
That too, yeah.
Like it hasn't been good. Last 2 weeks he hasn't, or I'm sorry, last week he didn't get his normal target share, right? Like he got 1 target this week. Most of the time he's upwards of 5 to 6. Like that's where he lives. But it's one of those games where CD just, you couldn't stop the guy, right? Like you couldn't stop CD. So
to me, it's kind of like there's parallels between him and Mixon, as well as like Cincy and Dallas. Like these are 2 offenses we expect to be better heading into the year. They struggled for a while. They both have shown that they started to get back on track, right? And we saw Mixon just have a good game. I think Mixon's more dependent on the offense. Like Pollard's more explosive than Mixon. Like, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Would you rather have Mixon or Pollard?
Pollard.
Right, and I bet you a lot of people, like, especially if they're willing to debate B-Rob and Pollard, they're probably might rather have Mixon at this point.
I get it. Like Mixon, I understand it. I just believe that Pollard's too good and the offense is going to figure it out, right? Like we saw signs of it. Past 2 weeks, we've really seen signs of the pass game starting to work, which is going to help Pollard. Like the offense needs to get clicking. I think it will. Devontae Adams or Garrett Wilson this week in PPR. Jets have Chargers and the Raiders have the Giants. Ooh.
Man, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go Devontae as well. It's tough. I love both.
And then we have, let's see. So the game's in New York on Monday. The game is in Las Vegas. So weather could be a factor in New York. It's been kind of shitty up in the Midwest. So give me Devontae.
Yeah.
A lot of time, though. A lot of time. Come back Sunday morning at noon. We'll be here. So get that question in.
That's
what
true.
trader moves should I make? 12-man PPR Superflex. Hurts, Eckler, Brees, Evans, Higgins, Jacobs, McBride, Murray, or JJ. And JJ, Hollywood, Palmer, Ridley on the
I'm assuming Murray's got to be Kyler, right? Because it's Superflex. I only saw 1 QB with Hurts.
Yeah.
And then you got Eckler, Brees, Evans, Higgins, you got Jacobs. Superflex.
Is there another QB you can pick up?
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely try to
QB until Murray's back. You need 2 QBs in there.
Yeah, definitely try to do that. I mean, honestly, package up like we were talking about before. Whenever you have depth like this, where you feel good about them.
He's got Mac Jones.
He's got Mac Jones. Okay, Mac Jones, I guess, is fine until the next week or 2, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I would just be trying to do 2-for-1s types. Basically picking up or offering up like Evans plus Jacobs or Higgins plus Evans or
Yeah.
Or Evans plus McBride, or Higgins plus McBride, or Jacobs plus McBride, like all that kind of stuff to try to upgrade one of the spots. Like doing those, like that's what I'm always doing. So if you can try to do Higgins plus McBride for Laporta or something like that, like
yeah, I'd probably do like an Evans plus Jacobs. I like that move to go upgrade somewhere. Like your
you
upgrade a
could
wide
upgrade a
receiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can give up Jacobs and Evans, you should definitely get a good receiver back. You're
Yeah,
giving up Evans and
JJ
Jacobs.
killed you getting hurt, and now he's gonna have Dobbs thrown to him, so that doesn't help. That's what I would do. I'd try to package Evans and Jacobs and go get a really good receiver. What do you think? Like a Devontae Adams. Like we were just talking about him. I'd go throw that.
Yeah, I think I think that is so you could get him with that.
What you can get him with that. I think you might be able to get a low end RB in the process of that as well, right? I'd throw that for Waddle plus something. Those kind of trades. That's what you're looking to get. Okay. What's the best super buy low in Dynasty? Jordan Addison. I think he's up there with Kirk getting hurt. I'd have to look at a list. Maybe Chris Olave.
Yeah, maybe.
Right now, honestly, he might be the biggest. Go get him if you can. No problem, man. Yeah, any other questions you can DM us too if you want to send us your roster and we could look at it. And we'll try to get back to you with some ideas. I'm leaning Grant.
I think that here I'll pull up the question before. It was
Garrett. Oh, sorry. Yep. Got Waller. Now I need a tight end on the waivers. Who do I grab? My options are Otten. Oof. Otten.
Oof is right.
Or Okonkwo.
I think I'm going Chig, personally. I think
I'm going Chig too. Let's see what Levis can do with him, right?
Yeah, Levis looked good enough to make some things happen, and let's not forget too, Chig's stat line would look a lot better if it wasn't for that. It was a bad throw, but he should have caught it. Like he should have. Levis should have led him, but and the throw had him turn, and it threw him off, and he dropped it, but it did bounce right off his hands. He should have caught it. So that game looks a lot better for Chig if he catches that pass.
Yeah. Definitely not Conklin. So let's cross him off the list.
I never love Otten, to be honest, either. But
no,
I can
Otten's
understand.
not doing anything for me. I get the idea. The idea of Granson.
I mean, none of them are. It's all rough.
It's tough. Yeah, it's just gonna be kind of a weekly back and forth stream option, like who they got this week.
Yeah.
Honestly, would you rather run out Parham than them? He's probably gettable.
Maybe. I think I'd still go Chig, but
okay.
But especially because we don't know for sure if Everett's back or not. And you got to make the decision on Chig tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm leaning Chig.
Yeah,
out of that group, he's just the best one. You just got to ride with talent. And when it comes to that,
I agree.
Yeah, Bijan and Kincaid for ETN. I have Darren Waller. Should I do it?
So basically, I think so too. I mean,
yeah,
ETN's been awesome, but Bijan is awesome too. And then you're getting Kincaid, which depending on what your wire is, if you have no real options, if you're looking at the same kind of options as last year then you might as well do that, because obviously Waller's going to be out this week, possibly more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I maybe Bijan should have been my go get guy this week, right?
Yeah, that's true.
He's had a couple subpar performances. He obviously had that the illness 2 weeks ago, really pissed a lot of people off. He might be that guy that that you can go get. Jake Ferguson is the best out. Yeah, if you can play Ferguson, go play him.
Yeah, maybe just do that. I mean, the thing is, I almost like doing it just because I feel like I like.
Who do you have rest of season, Bijan or Etienne?
Well, that's what I was like about to think. Like, what do I?
I mean, I know Etienne is on a tear right now. I know that, but
yeah, but I think if I'm drafting, man, that's tough. Because I feel foolish saying Bijan, but I want to say Bijan still. But
so do I. But I mean, Etienne's RB2 overall. He's had last 4 weeks. He hasn't finished below RB6. And he's getting the work, right? He's on the field like 80% of the time. I would just play Ferguson.
Yeah, probably just
play Ferguson.
Just grab Ferguson, maybe even see. I mean, the offer's not bad, honestly. I mean, it's really a solid offer.
Fair. It's a fair trade.
The fact that you have Ferguson as available, like I mentioned earlier that I like Ferguson over Kincaid, but I mean, I understand if people don't, if I want to take the chance.
It's close enough, though. It's close enough where Etienne is on such a tear. I'd probably just ride with Etienne and pick Ferguson up.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Who's your last buy low guy?
I said last week. I said probably the week before. It's still Aaron Jones. I really can't quit this guy. I think that we're seeing signs of him getting back to health. This was his most snaps of the season so far, and it was still 50-50 split with him and AJ Dillon, where I think that's going to start turning to like 65-35. And I just believe in the talent too much, and that this offense completely revolves around him. And when that switch hits, when he's fully healthy, if he's not already fully healthy, and when they start giving him, 15 carries plus 5 to 6 targets, like he's going to destroy the league and be at least a top 15 running back, where you can go and get him, I think, pretty cheap right now with what's going on.
Yeah, you definitely can. I know I saw one of my buddies that's in my home, one of my main home league, posting about Aaron Jones today and saying how like he doesn't want any part of Aaron Jones rest of the season. So clearly people are not in on Aaron Jones. And so if you are in on Aaron Jones, like you said, it's probably very gettable.
Yeah. I just traded for him in Dynasty. I gave up a 25-second. I'm going out and getting him where I can. I believe in the talent. I think he's had a rough start to the season with that injury. It never really healed properly, and they rushed him back probably a week too early that first time. And I just think we're going to start seeing him come back to what he was that first game of the season, where he really, really blew the lid off of it. Nort, who is a sell candidate for you?
So looking at who to sell, I'm gonna go with TJ Hawkinson here. I feel like it's always a risk when you're dealing away like an elite level tight end, which he's been this year. But obviously, Cousins out for the year. I think the offense is going to go down a bit. We have the impending return of Jefferson. Addison has been breaking out. So I mean, obviously they traded for Josh Dobbs, and that makes me feel a little bit better than Jaron Hall situation. Yeah. But I also think Hawkinson like can get you a good amount. Like I think if you traded Hawkinson plus a running back or Hawkinson plus a receiver for an upgrade on those guys, and then again, I mentioned these guys a bunch of times: Ferguson, Kincaid, McBride. Those kind of guys. And then even Logan Thomas as a streamer has been fine, things like that. I'd be fine doing like trading away Hawkinson plus someone else to upgrade my receivers and running backs, knowing that there's those kind of guys out there. And I don't think he's going to be that big of a upgrade over those guys rest of the season, considering the QB situation.
We got another question coming in here. Trade Laporta, Pollard, Cup for Kamara and Waddle. I have Kelsey and good RBs and wide receivers. I don't think I'm doing this.
Laporta, Pollard, Cup. Yeah, I don't think so either.
package, like if you're concerned about Pollard, rightfully so, I would try to do Laporta and Pollard for Kamara.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Yeah, and I even think that's like a strong offer personally.
I think that's a pretty strong offer.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump from Kupp to Waddle.
Same.
I don't want to do that, especially unless news breaks before you can pull this off and, Stafford goes on IR or something like that. I think he'll miss 1 week and he'll be back. It's kind of how it looks.
That's what it seems like.
Plus, I think they have their bye next week, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he'll sit this week, then bye, then they're back. So you're missing 2 weeks of, Stafford, and you got Kupp's bye. So if you're concerned about Pollard, I get it. But if you can package Laporta and Pollard to go get Kamara, I'd rather do that.
Yep, I agree.
Being 0-4 in the last 4 weeks, I need some help at RB. I have CMC, Madison, A-Chain. Who are your targets? For trades or for like pickup?
Waiver.
I guess we need a little prefaces. I just said Aaron Jones is my go buy right now. I would try to go snag him if you could.
And I was
A-Chain was back at practice, or he was there. So everything's looking good. He can't practice till next week, but it seems like he's going to be ready to go. Trades. So I said Aaron Jones was one guy that I'm trying to go out and get if I can. North just said Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
If you can make it happen, I would. Yeah, Mixon. That's a good one to go get while it's a little low. I think crazy enough, I think James Cook is a solid go try to trade for right now with Lenny coming there. I'm not as scared of Lenny as some people are. I think Cook's still going to get the same amount of work, and he's had a rough couple weeks, but I think for the most part he's been pretty good. So I don't mind James Cook if you can go snag him. But those are Aaron Jones is my guy right now where I'm trying to trade for him wherever I can.
Yeah, it's fair. And who's your sell?
My sells. I'll give you my guy, and then we'll do 2 honorable mentions and get you guys out of here. My sell right now is Tyler Lockett. So Lockett's coming off a top 12 performance this week against the Browns. I think he went 8 for 80 and a touchdown, something along those lines. But we can't really deny the breakout that's happening with JSN right now. JSN has started to get acclimated to the offense. Gino's actually looking for him a little bit more. He looks comfortable in this offense. And we see this year in and year out where these rookie wide receivers, especially top picked rookie wide receivers, come in and they're a little slow to start the first 6-7 weeks, like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave actually came in hot, but we've seen this where these rookie wide receivers come in, they take them about a half season to get going. And once they do, they take over the target share. I think that's starting to happen with JSN. And if JSN really starts to pop in this offense, I think Lockett is the one that's going to take the hit as opposed to DK Metcalf. So if I can get out on Lockett right now after a really nice game, I'm probably going to try to do that.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that for sure. Lockett's been my guy for a long time. But yeah, I don't blame anyone for trying to get out from Lockett after a nice performance.
Yeah. Wizzy says, I have Adams, Olave, Diop, Deontay, and Zay. Who would you trade away ideally? For me, it's Diop.
Yep.
Especially after that massive game. His trade value just went up. Try to capitalize on it. Levis looked good, but it's hard to bank on that with a rookie QB where he's going to continuously get D-hop the ball like that. Deontay, we know what he is. He's going to get you those. He's going to get 12 targets a game and do enough in PPR where he's going to be a really solid play for the rest of the year. Zay, I don't think you're going to get enough for.
Yeah,
I would trade Zay if I could, but I just don't think you're going to get anything worth value.
And Zay to me feels like Deontay on a better team, but slightly less for volume.
I agree, but is he ever going to be healthy this year?
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about?
Is this Zay Flowers or Zay Jones?
I was
Maybe
thinking Flowers. I was thinking Flowers. That's why I was like.
Then it's definitely D-Hop for me.
Yeah, for sure. If it's because I thought then when you said that I was thinking you meant Jones. So
I was thinking Zay Jones.
Yeah.
So it's probably Flowers. You're probably right. I would try to trade D-Hop for
D-Hop is the clear sell of these to me because you don't want to sell Adams or Olave at this point. They're only going to get better. D-Hop is coming off a big game. D-Hop could probably land you Aaron Jones, honestly.
I think so. And maybe Mixon. I think he could probably get
Flowers,
you Mixon.
He said. So yeah, he might be getting Mixon as well. Yeah. So yeah, Deontay and Zay are like PPR machines. So
those are the guys. And then if you want to go try to get like Tony Pollard or somebody like that, that's probably going to cost you a little bit more. Maybe D-Hop plus a running back. Throw it out there and see what you can get.
Yeah, for sure. Although
I wouldn't mind.
The thing is, after this week, I mean, CMC's on a bye. HN is probably not playing this week, and then he has a bye next week. But after that, you have CMC and HN. Like they should be strong.
But he said he's 0-4, so he needs a win.
Yeah, so I would go take D-Hop, see what you can get for running backs, even if you get Aaron Jones or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I would do that.
One guy has Marquise Brown and Aaron Jones, worth going for them. Yes.
Oh yeah, I love Marquise. He's both of us are high on Marquise Brown. I'm super high on Aaron Jones. Rest of the season. So if you could pull something out, getting both those guys, I would do it. I'd be fine giving up Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Plus a piece to go get Aaron Jones and Marquise. Like if you can pull that off, I would do that. Nort, who's one guy, real quick hit, another sell for you.
Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I mean it's just because you can get so much for him, and lately the volume hasn't been as much. Been a little banged up, but better be a sell high though.
For sure, sell high. Zach Sharp's starting to eat into the work a little bit, but it could be him coming back from the injury, so we don't know fully. But I've been saying that too. I think Ken Walker's a pretty good sell high. We've been talking about that the past couple of weeks. And then my other guy is Rachaad White. 2 top 12 performances in a row. I think he's more of a back-end RB2 when the season's all said and done. So if you can go out, trade him now while his stock is up somewhat, I think I'm willing to do that.
I like it. I'm with you.
All right, Nort, anything else you want to get out to the people?
No. Keep making them trades while you can. Probably deadlines are coming up in redraft leagues, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So get it while you can.
Get it while you can. And we will be back tomorrow night. Me and it might not be me, but we're working through that right now. But we'll be back tomorrow night at 7:00. Get you ready for Thursday night football. And then we will be back Sunday at noon, right before kickoff, trying to get you guys ready for the games for those last second start sit questions. So we'll be here. Hop in. If you got any other questions, send it to us on Twitter, and we'll get you out here. For Rob, that's the other Rob. Peace.
Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at DadBodFS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at DadBod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together we can count our trophies and not our calories.